This is the Momentum Podcast.
I'm excited to share this subject with you today, this topic of distraction for us as entrepreneurs. You know, so often we set out in a direction to get something done and then we get sidetracked. You know, that proverbial squirrel that runs across the patio and distracts us and moves us in a direction we did not intend. How do we stop this? How do we stay on the hunt? How do we stay in momentum as entrepreneurial personality types? This is something that I've obsessed over and I'm so excited to share with you.
I'm Alex Sharfin, and this is the Momentum Podcast, made for empire builders, game changers, trailblazers, shot takers, record breakers, world makers, and creators of all kinds. Those among us who can't turn it off and don't know why anyone would want to. We challenge complacency, destroy apathy, and we are obsessed with creating momentum so we can roll over bureaucracy and make our greatest contribution. Sure, we pay attention to their rules, but only so that we can bend them, break them, then rewrite them around our own will. We don't accept our destiny, we define it. We don't understand defeat because you only lose if you stop, and we don't know how. While the rest of the world strives for average and clings desperately to the status quo, we are the minority, the few, who are willing to hallucinate there could be a better future. And instead of just daydreaming of what could be, we endure the vulnerability and exposure it takes to make it real. We are the evolutionary hunters, clearly the most important people in the world, because entrepreneurs are the only source of consistent, positive human evolution, and we always will be.
So this podcast is inspired by a post in our private Facebook group for the Black Friday personal operating system that we sold. We have about 85 entrepreneurs in there, and it has been an incredible experience. The group is active, they're supporting each other, they're having conversations, and there's been a lot of amazing questions. This one from Nabil Rahman, I think it's Nabil. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, but let me read your post so that everybody can hear what I'm responding to. He writes, I'd like advice on how to stop going down rabbit holes. For example, I start on a simple task of paying a bill. The bank sends me a code to my phone on which there are other messages that I need to respond to quickly. Back to the bank. Oh wait, one of my balances are low. Transfer some money. What is this charge I don't recognize? Google the vendor to confirm it's legit. By now I've forgotten why I logged into the bank in the first place. I've got a bunch of stuff done, which I didn't intend, but the bill still remains unpaid. I find this so relatable as an entrepreneur. So often I set off in a direction and I get distracted, and I sometimes, just like the comment that I just read, forget my original intention of what I was moving towards, what I was going to do. And this has plagued me for my entire life. This is something that comes up for me all the time and has come up for me all the time. And I've just recently, in the past few years, been able to calm that distraction significantly, been able to get in my body and see a task through without the distractions. But here's the issue for us as entrepreneurial personality types, as evolutionary hunters, when it comes to distraction. When we're distracted in the moment, we're already in a place where we are reactive and our nervous system is activated and we are chasing and we are moving in a direction that we didn't intend. So how do we stop this? It's not in the moment, but before. See, calming your nervous system is like anything else we do to build up stamina, to build up strength, to build up resilience. When we learn how to calm our nervous system and become centered and present and embodied, we can move towards an outcome and get it done without the distractions that we feel. But once we're in the moment, those distractions that are coming up are telling us that there was work to be done beforehand. Let me give you a parallel. This is what's coming up for me. It's kind of a strange, relatable story, but years ago, my family and I were in an airport. It was me, Katie, my wife, my oldest daughter, Reagan, and my youngest daughter, Kennedy. And we were walking through the airport, and Kennedy was distracted, and she walked in front of one of those carts that they drive people around in, and it probably had 5 or 6 people in it. And as she walked in front of it, the driver hit the brakes and he parked on her foot. The right-hand front tire was on her foot. And I was telling him to back up and move, but he was frozen in place because she was screaming and the people in the car were confused. And it was one of the weirdest experiences of my life, but I bent down and lifted the cart off of Kennedy's foot, and she pulled her foot out. And I remember Katie saying, "How did you do that?" And I said, "I have no idea. I was sore for 2 or 3 days afterwards. I don't know how much that cart weighed, but it was a 6-person golf cart with people in it. And I was able to get Kennedy's foot out from under it. But the reason I was able to do that was not just adrenaline, was not just the instincts of a father. Those definitely kicked in, but it was the years and hours, thousands of hours that I've spent in a gym getting stronger and aligning my body and becoming the person that I am today, where I have the strength and the fortitude and the muscles to be able to lift that cart. And in the moment, I was able to do it and get Kennedy out of a really challenging situation. So for us as entrepreneurs, the parallel here is that if we want to be present in the moment, we build up resilience for presence. And we do that by radically taking care of ourselves. And what I use to be able to do this is I get up in the morning. I follow a written morning routine. It's like a ritual. You can call it a process. You can call it a structure. But for me, ritual feels so much more real because every morning I get up and I follow a process that puts me in my body. I take my supplements. I spend time in intention. I state my intention for the day. I plan my day. I get clear on what I'm doing. I create energy around it until I feel the energy in my body. And then when I set out on the day, distraction just isn't there. Later in the day, I take some time and spend 20 minutes in neutral. It's kind of like meditating without any expectations. That 20 minutes laying down with a bolster under my knees, just breathing with a timer going for 20 minutes and allowing my brain to process calms my nervous system and puts me in my body and builds up resilience for the next day. And as I go throughout the day, I take time to breathe. I take time to think about what I'm doing. I take time to get in my body before I do something, like I did right before I recorded this podcast. And for me, that intentionality, that time that I take to be able to be there and understand what I need to be doing is crucially important. Because if I want to avoid distraction in the moment, I build up that resilience beforehand, and you can too. See, as evolutionary hunters, we are gifted. We are blessed with incredibly sensitive nervous systems. We're blessed with the physiological sensitivity to understand what we should be doing in the world. We are blessed with the ability to trust our guts and to understand where we should move and what we should do and what we should be doing next. And we are gifted with this visionary ability as evolutionary hunters to go out into the future, create a new reality, come back to the present, and demand it becomes real. And that gift, that blessing for us is something that when we take it seriously, when we give reverence to that ability that we have, when we honor that ability that we have by taking care of ourselves, that's when we create the presence and awareness where we create the life we want, we create the future we want, and we create the change we want to make in the world because it's so crucially important to us. It's so crucially important to who we are. And the more we protect ourselves, the more we take care of ourselves, the more we support ourselves, the more present and aware we are in the moment to execute, to achieve, to create massive momentum and feel it in our bodies and know that we are moving towards the outcome that we should be moving towards. See, when we create intention and we follow process and structure, dare I say ritual, we get in our bodies. And when we are embodied, that is when we feel the world around us. That is when we feel the direction we should go. That is when we feel the calling, the call of contribution where we can go and make something greater and help people around us and make a change in the world. But it starts with us first, getting still and quiet and present within ourselves. When we're willing to do that, we go to the computer to pay the bill, like in the comment that I read to you, and we pay the bill and move on. We're no longer distracted by the little things because we have a mission and a purpose, and we are moving forward, and we have reinforced that for ourselves by becoming grounded, by getting in our bodies, by following process and structure, and by making every single day and every moment important, because it's our life. Every day, every minute, every moment of our lives is so crucially important. And when we create intention around what we're doing, and we are clear with ourselves as to why we are doing what we are doing, and we see that future, and we understand the effect we are going to have, nothing can distract us. Now, I want to let you off the hook. This isn't perfect for me, and it won't be perfect for you. But the more you put practice in your life that allows you to be in your body, the more you hydrate, the more you spend time in neutral, the more you follow process, structure, and routine. You sit down and plan your day in the morning so you know what's important and you know why you're here, the more you will be out of that place of distraction. And when it happens, because it will, it always will, when we get that distraction, we just acknowledge that it's there, understand it, and then move towards what's important to us. And the more resilience you build, the more embodiment you allow, the more time you spend becoming present and aware, the less those distractions will plague you, and the faster you will move towards the outcome that's important to you. Remember, we are evolutionary hunters. We are the most important people in the world. Everything around you was first envisioned in the minds of someone just like us, just like you, and just like me, and then it became reality. We literally create the world around us. That's how important it is for us to be fully present, fully aware, and in our bodies. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Thank you for being a podcast listener for me. This is one of my most joyous things that I do. I love creating this content for you because I'm also creating it for me. And I just want to thank you for listening, for downloading, for subscribing, and for leaving a review of this podcast if it means something to you, because I recorded it for you and for me and for people like us around the world to understand themselves better so that we get in our bodies and we achieve, because the world needs us now more than it ever has. Thanks for being here with me today. I have a gift for you. If you'd like to learn how to drink more water in a way that's natural, in a way that uses your instincts, in a way that your body will feel fully supported and fully hydrated and present and aware, you can go to the URL getthirstynow.com. It's getthirstynow.com, and it's our 10-day natural thirst challenge. It's a process and a structure to help you understand your thirst instinct, to help you drink more water, to help you get in your body and be fully hydrated and connect mind and body like I've just been talking about. You can go to getthirstynow.com, try the 10-day challenge, and if you do, I'd love for you to tag me on a post in social media and let me know how it worked for you. Do you feel more present? Do you feel more aware? Do you feel more momentum just from the simple act of hydrating and putting mind and body connected together? I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.